Hello, everyone. Welcome to EdTech Wednesday. Today's presentation is from missed to mastered using Notebook LM. My name is Maribel Martinez, alongside Mr. David Villarreal, your secondary integration technology specialist. And in today's session, it's all about unlocking the power of Notebook LM to turn missed lessons and into mastered learning. We'll explore how AI-powered tools can help you organize your class materials, the concepts you're covering in your classroom to create a more personalized study resource for your students to catch up in case they're absent or you want to reteach a lesson. Here is a QR code for today's presentation, and Mr. Villarreal will go ahead and put that link in the chat. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started. Please remember to keep your mic muted, registered through our PD system. The link is in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat in case you have a question, and use your remote check-in PSJA Tech. So today's objectives will be able to identify key features using Notebook LM that help you summarize and simplify complex lesson content in order to help our students catch up on missed lessons. We'll summarize key points, simplifying complex topics into easier to understand notes for our students. That's the magic of Notebook LM. And we'll outline a workflow to quickly integrate some videos that you can create within Notebook LM to help your students master those missed or difficult concepts. Okay. So a quick poll here before we get started. What do you most want Notebook LM to help you with? Are you wanting to reteach lessons? Are you wanting to help your students that are absent provide a more personalized lesson for your students, or to organize class materials? So drop your comment in the chat. And I think that with Notebook LM, you can do all of these things. You can reteach, help reach your students that didn't show up to class or might have been absent for a whole week. You'll be able to do all of this with Notebook LM. Okay, so what is Notebook LM? It's an AI-powered learning tool that helps you and your students turn lesson materials into clear summaries, providing key insights and more personalized study guides. And how does it work? You can create your notebook by adding resources like even your TEKS, your standards, in order to provide those notes and vocabulary and your readings to your students. Whatever readings you're doing in class, whatever you're covering in class, you're able to upload those sources directly into Notebook LM, and you'll get an instant overview, automatically generating a summary. And from there, you can ask questions, you can provide prompts to help you create resources that you'll be able to integrate into Notebook LM to use with your students. Notebook LM is an expert on your more trusted information. You'll be able to use, your sources can be Google Docs, it can be websites, it can be your lessons that you already have on Google Slides, MP4s, videos, direct text, PDFs, or images that'll help you turn those things into Q&As, study guides, summaries, reports, mind maps, even video overviews. The main focus today, what I really like about Notebook LM are those videos that you can create for your students, because let's say a student misses a lesson on the writing process, right? Well, you're able to create that into a video if it's for targeted, a specific targeted group of students that you want to focus on. For example, your emergent bilinguals or your special pops. You can always tailor those videos to the way you want your students to view them. Okay, so how do you organize your notebook? All right. We're going to get into that later, but I just wanted to give you, I want to front load how to organize your notebook. Let's say you are doing a lesson, a notebook LM for biology, then you would title it from missed to mastered or absent, like a topic, like students that are absent, title it biology, and the title organisms, if that's the lesson you're covering that week. Within your notebook LM, you can put it into sections. By having your lesson overview for the week, you can create it into a podcast, which is under audio sources. Your direct lessons can become a mind map. Key terms can become flashcards. Examples of real world scenarios within your classroom, within that content, can become reports that students can look at. And if you want to add extensions like a choice board or a graphic organizer, you can also put that into reports. It has way too many features that I don't think we'll get to cover the entire thing today. There's going to be other videos in the future about Notebook LM. Today is just focusing on how to create it and what a video and a podcast look like with a Notebook LM. Okay. Also, when you're creating those sources, you want to have some type of like quick check for your students or a cheat sheet to help them, like guide them, since they're doing this on their own, basically on the side while you're conducting your regular class. You want to have a quick check for them, like what is the relationship between cells and tissues? Like those are questions from your biology content, right? Why is life of a cell important? These are just little things that kids will probably not have in mind as they're going through your lesson, but have that extra sheet for them so that they can know what to look for when they are going through your notebook. Okay. How to share with your students. I'll show you, I'm going to show this later as well, but just real quick, how to share it with your students. Use their email address, their student PSJA email address to send it to them directly, and I'll share that with you later. You can also share it through Google Classroom. There's another way, which is an extensive way, which is a whole nother training in and of itself, because there's extra steps. I don't think we'll get to cover it today. I'll just briefly talk about it toward the end on how to create it in Google Classroom. Okay. If you want your students to interact or make their own notes, have them make their own copy instead of, and have a view only link, because you don't want them to edit any of your work. Okay. All right. So turning missed lessons into learning moments with Notebook LM. If your students were absent, Notebook LM becomes that built-in class you can provide them with slides, handouts, or readings under sources. Students can ask questions in the chat panel, like explain this in simpler words, or give me an example from real life. If you do get to have them interact with your Notebook LM. Reteaching and reinforcement, Notebook LM is a great source for that. The studio panel, again, can generate outlines, quizzes, simplified explanations, and don't forget to use your TEKS. If you want your content to be good and have good quality, always have your TEKS on hand so that you can embed it into your prompt, okay? Students can rewatch or reread any personalized overviews of the full lesson within your notebook. And it's a great study and review support. It becomes more personalized learning, in my opinion, and you get to use real world classroom through, I know we don't have flipped classrooms, but if that's in the future, then that can always be the case where we can use Notebook LM. This works great for substitute plans in case you're going to be out. you have that notebook LM ready and students can practice and learn the lesson for that day, for that week. Also, it's great homework support. Okay, helping students catch up and stay connected. Always make sure you have a good prompt. This is an example of a good prompt, and it's geared towards English, your ELA content, but you would just tweak it and make it your own. A great tip, please make it engaging for your students. Use clear, simple language with real world examples. And again, great for substitute day activities, missed lessons, to catch up, reteaching, or homework support. Okay, getting the most out of Notebook LM. Always make sure that the sources you are providing with a Notebook LM are good quality. Include PDFs for your lessons, include Google Slides that you have already covered in class or you're covering with your students. Be specific and clear with targeted questions and be as precise as possible. Explore generated content. Use the buttons for study guides, timelines, mind maps. Everything is available for you in the Notebook LM Studio. Check your citations. Once that overview in the chat panel becomes available, make sure, it's AI, it's not perfect, it makes mistakes. Always vet everything that you have or that it has created for you. Make sure to click save the note, pin it, and I'll show you once we get there, okay? And iterate, rephrase questions if you don't get the answer you need the first time around. Here's a quick video. Video over, have all the information. This is how you create that lesson that you have, what you covered for that week, turning it into a video. These videos presented by an AI voice are presented by an AI voice, which includes visuals, diagrams, key quotes, directly from your sources, okay? So it's not going to the internet to pick up anything or research anything. It's taking everything straight from your sources. Users can customize video overviews by topic, learning goals, and it targets your audience. Okay, a quick anatomy here of what Notebook LM looks like. On the left, you have your sources. You can upload up to 50 sources per day. You also have your chat panel. At the bottom here, you can type in your questions, your prompts. This is a quick overview of what all those sources entail. So I could literally just make a video from this overview. Like this is just an example, but I could take this and create the video that would tell my students what I'm covering that week. And like I said earlier, this chat tends to get long as you start asking it questions. As soon as you get an outcome, you can pin this note. It'll go straight into the bottom of your studio panel. And on the right-hand side, you have the studio, and that is where your sources will be at. Your videos, those podcasts, mind maps, flashcards, everything will be on the right-hand side within the studio. Okay, so again, the sources are your library. The chat is your actual tutor. It is the tutor for your student. This is where students ask questions and get explanations. They can explain the irony in Cask of Amontillado in simple terms, especially if they're emergent bilinguals. It can always simplify things for them. You need to let your students know that prompting this way will have a better effect on their learning. Make a 5 practice question for the STAR PDF, whatever it is that you have going there. It is doing it for you on the teacher side, but it can also do it on the student side as well. Okay. Studio is your learning, where you have your learning products. Like I said, all of these things, all of these tools are provided within the studio. Okay, and just an FYI, your daily limits are to 50 chat queries per day, 3 audio generations, including a video, a podcast, and you can upload to 50 sources per notebook. I know I've done a lot of talking, and I'm talking kind of fast because we have a lot of information, but does anybody have any questions? Okay. All right, so there's 2 ways to log in. You can always go through My Apps, PSJA My Apps. That's my favorite way of logging in. Everything's there for you, or you could go through gemini.google.com. Okay, so I am going to go to, okay, let's see. I'm going to go through My Apps. I'm going to log in. And my actual way of doing this is probably the longest way, but somehow, like, this is the best way for me. I go through Gemini I click on Gemini on the Gemini icon on the left-hand panel. Here you have all your tools. These 3 buckets at the bottom, you have your regular Gemini app. In the middle is where you create your gems. And over here on the side, on the right-hand side, you have your create your notebooks. Okay. I'm going to go there. This is one that I have already created. And like I said, again, the anatomy of the whole Notebook LM is on the left. You have your sources. Here's the chat panel that I was talking about, and where you get to ask your questions. If you want to pin this note, you pin it. It automatically saves into your studio. Here is your audio. Let me see. And you can even interact with your source. As the podcast begins, you're able to join into the conversation. Let's say a student, make sure you let your students know if you have a question, you're not understanding the conversation that is going on. You can join in and ask a question at any time. Oh, I'm sorry, and I clicked it too early, sorry. Oops, I got up. Can you hear the video, I'm sorry, the podcast? Okay, so that's just, I'm just gonna quickly go over that. Here's the video as well. A video has already been generated for this specific overview of the ECR writing step-by-step guide. I was telling Mr. Villarreal earlier, the rubric, as an ELA teacher, the rubric is a very difficult part of the writing process for the students to learn. Sometimes students don't get it the first couple of weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even the first 6 weeks of school. The writing process is really difficult, and this is a great source. If a student missed a day, or you're having to reteach it, this video is a perfect example of how Notebook LM can help you in your classroom. Okay, so I'm not gonna go through the entire 5 minutes. I'm gonna, since we're short on time, like I'm just gonna dive into how to create a notebook LM. So I'm gonna go back over here. I'm gonna create a new notebook. I'm gonna drop my sources in here. For today's example, I'll be using a biology lesson. Mr. Villarreal will link the sources to the chat so that you can start creating it as well with me as we're going along. I'm just going to drop the sources in here. Oh, I always forget to click add. It takes me back to the dropping the files, uploading the files. So you click add. Mr. Villarreal, you added the files, right?
Yes.
Okay, there was one source that it didn't pick up. I think it's a Word document, but that's okay. So once I'm here, it creates the overview within the chat. And from here is where I make sure I vet my information. This is very foreign to me since it's biology. I wanted to create something different other than my content that I'm used to. But from here, I would want to create, since I'm not too familiar with it, I want to create a video, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pin this so I won't lose that overview. And I will click on the pencil. And since it's a difficult topic for me, it's a difficult topic for my students, right? So I would say maybe create a video for this week's lesson overview. Simple for my 9th grade students, for my 9th grade biology students using TEKS 6A, 5A. I have a diverse class of students with emergent bilingual okay. Make it simple. With short sentences. And generate. It usually takes between 4 to 6 minutes. We probably won't get to see it, but that is an example of how something like that is created. Okay. Remember that you can always create flashcards, create a quiz. Oh, and a limit of 3 sources per day. Remember also that all your resources will be here. Once you share this out to your students, then they will be able to interact with those sources. Okay. Another way to, like I said earlier, you can, it's new to us. The Google Classroom part is new to us. I hope I give you the right guidance. I don't have too much information on it, but let me go ahead and show you real quick how I would do it through Google Classroom. Okay, let's say I'm going to go to this one, for example, this class that I have. Under classwork, I would create. Under the create feature, you have Notebook LM right here. Okay, so I would click on that. I would create new. I already have a tab that says absent. I would click on that, create notebook, start uploading my sources here. I'm not going to go through the entire thing because then again, it's going to take me a while. I want to make sure, guys, that I give very specific instructions to my students in this part of your Google Classroom. And then you can post it, okay? Because if they're going to be new to this, just like we are, you're going to have some, it's probably going to take some learning curve to go through all the steps. It's not bad. Once they get it going, it should be great. You'll be able to use all those resources with your students. I would give clear instructions here. Sir, do we, yes. Right? We wrote the instructions? Yes. Okay, so Mr. Villarreal included a sample of some instructions that you can put in here in your Google Classroom for your students to follow. It's just a guide. You don't have to use those, but I think that would be ideal for our students in order to start learning how to use it in the classroom. That's it for today. Follow us on social media.